Today I'm going to be showing you how to turn this into this. So this Madden cover came out a while back and I decided to make a recruiting graphic out of it, and I decided I'm just going to try and take every little piece and change it into my own flavor. So I started out with the original Madden cover and decided just to overlay pieces. So I had this piece that I laid in. It was just a photo of one of our athletes, and I was just going to put his helmet piece up at the top there, put the black rectangle down, and then put the picture I wanted over top. Did the alt click to place that into the black square. Then I put a camera raw filter on it to make that black and white and a little sharper. And so then we just kind of started to do that all around. So you have this little piece of field right here. I put another black rectangle right there. I decided to theme the graphic based off of the two guys that we had drafted to the NFL from App State. And so one of them is Akeem Davis-Gaither. And so I put his nameplate right there on that square. Again, you just make a rectangle of any color, the rectangle tool, and then hold Alt and click between the layers, and that will form to the square or the rectangle. Then I just did that again, found a picture of Darrington to put in. Then I found another, then I put another black rectangle and added in Darrington's face. Same thing again with Akeem's face. I put them two in a group and just put a curves layer and black and white layer to simplify it because I didn't want too much different color going all around. So then I added another black rectangle up top for that photo of Lamar and added in Darrington's NFL jersey swap with his number 32, which I just added in these little photos I found of other jersey pieces online. And then I added in another black rectangle in the bottom. Again, alt click between and I put the Sunbelt Championship photo of both of them together at App State. Another black rectangle up at the top right with just Akeem and his uniform for the Bengals. And then we have the main photo rectangle. So we put the black rectangle in the center, or the black square, I guess, in this case. And I gave it some textures. So that was the original texture. And then I turned it into that. And I just put their faces over top of it. I gave them an inner shadow to kind of like take away that outer white line, and made them black and white and just kind of turned up the clarity. And then I used a levels layer to kind of blend him in with that background as well as I could. Then I found the logos. I put this one to color burn and set that on top of his face. That looks really cool with just like this kind of tiger stripe going down his face. And then I have Darrington's photo. His has an inner shadow as well. Made him black and white with a camera raw filter and turned up the clarity. And did the same thing with a levels layer. And then I did the same thing with his NFL team logo, Tennessee Titans. That one looks pretty sick as well. Just set to color burn and just kind of place it on his face where I thought it looked the coolest. And then I just added some shading to the bottom of that photo just to kind of blend it a little bit better, give it some depth as well. And that's just a black brush that I used. And then I just put their cutouts in front of that, their App State cutouts, and those have a camera raw filter as well, just to bump up the texture and clarity a little bit. And then an inner shadow and drop shadow. So the inner shadow is a color dodge hitting them from the top right. You can see when I turn it on and off. And then the drop shadow is kind of behind them and down to the left a little bit. And then I just darkened up his back foot a little bit to give him a little more depth with this shadow. I did that by just like painting in that same shadow from before and just masking it off of his back leg. So if you do control click, that'll give you the mask, and then it'll take it off his whole body, and then you can like paint it back on to just the little portion back here with just a soft brush. And so then we have the same thing for Darrington, same effects. That's what his cutout looks before, and then that's what it looks like after. Same thing with the back foot, just to give it depth back there. The front foot and hand and stuff are brighter. And then these boxes are just text down here to match the text that was already there. So as you can see, it was going over top of the photo, but my new photo covered that up, so I had to replace it and it's just a gold outline instead of the purple outline. And it's the same exact letters they had on there, just yellow with a stroke. And then I added in the logo and the words and the NFL logo. I masked out the EA Sports logo right there where his foot is, just to give it a little more depth. And I put a drop shadow behind it just to kind of separate it from the background a little more, because that just looks like a little too hard to read. You know, it's like doesn't pop off. So this is like pretty subtle, but it just kind of makes it a little bit easier to read. So just gave that a drop shadow. Then I put it in drafted edition, and that has a inner shadow, just white text, the inner shadow. And then we have our two color lookups to kind of blend it all together, give it one solid look. And as you can see, cover, there's some like little detailed text right here. So I wanted to add some of that in too. And so I just put this over top. I think those are just some statistics. It doesn't even really, need to have necessary meaning, but I decided I'll look up some statistics and put them in there. And I can't even remember what that was, but I just added it in to make it look like the original cover. Thanks for watching, and check out this next video to learn more about sports design.